Good evening, friends. Calling the angels, calling the angels. In my right hand, Michael, in my left hand, Gabriel. Before me, Uriel, behind me, Raphael, and my right hand, Michael, and my left hand, Gabriel. Before me, Uriel, behind me, Raphael, calling the angels, calling the angels. My right hand, Michael, and my left hand, Gabriel. Before me, Uriel, behind me, Raphael, and within me, almighty love. And within me is all the love, love, calling the angels. Ooh, calling the angels. Michael, Mismoli, Gabriel, Umilifanai, Uriel, Umecharai, Raphael, Michael, Mismoli, Gabriel, Umilifanai, Uriel, Umecharai, Raphael, and within me, almighty love, love, and within me is love. Within me is this great love, calling our angels. Ooh, oh, the angels. Welcome the angels. Let's call our angels. Calling the angels.
That was so beautiful. Oh, thank you for bringing that, Laura. Wow. I've never heard that before. I'm so glad you sang it.
So happy to be here today and so happy to be back with all of you on this wonderful completion of our holiday weekend or holy day weekend, whatever day we would like to call it. So as usual, I would like to start with a little giggle because I get to remind myself all the time, there is no duality in spirit. And as I am very serious sometime about my own enlightenment and spiritual practices, it's a great reminder, a little giggle, that this also is spirit, that spirit is not just seriousness. So there was a shepherd. And this shepherd had his own personal Bible, and it was, one of those Bibles with the gold leaf on the pages and the indentations for different chapters in the Bible, and had his name on it. And one day when he was looking for a wayward lamb, he lost his Bible, and he was distraught, of course. So weeks and weeks went by. About 3 weeks later, a sheep showed up with his Bible in its mouth. And he just thought, oh, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. How wonderful. It's a miracle. And so the sheep gave him the Bible, and the sheep was just like, well, it's not really a miracle. Your name is written on the inside cover. And what does this have to do with what we're doing today? It's about community, that this shepherd and the sheep we're in the same community, even the wayward lamb that this shepherd was looking for. So today I'd like to share with you, or we get to co-create together, igniting the locality within. And that is in an underpinning of knowing that community is lit by spirit. Every single one of our communities is lit by spirit because we are, just like what we just read ahead of time, just before this, we are what spirit is. Each one of us is an expression of the divine. However, what came for me was, and so our communities are lit by spirit. Spirit is everywhere present. It's a radiant beam that has no beginning or no ending, and it's eternal and it's immortal. In what way do we ignite that within ourselves? In what ways can we show up in our community, igniting it? And what showed up for me as the title was igniting the locality within. So I'd like to explain a little of these words and how I believe it all fits together, the way Spirit is pouring it through me. And as I say, Spirit is pouring it through me, I also would like to remind us, this is a co-creation. Yes, I am the one who spotlighted. Yes, I am the one who's talking. However, we are all here together, co-creating this together. And without each one of us, it cannot be the supreme, divine, sublime expression of the one that it is. So some of these explanations or definitions, I might call them. So what is a locality? Because when that showed up for me, igniting the locality within, I thought, so what the heck is this, Spirit? So what showed up for me when I looked up locality and was just being with it, that a locality is a state of being local. So like the locality that each one of us is geographically, I'm an East Bay locality, you're South Bay locality. However, it's the state of being local, and it's usually deeply rooted in different parts of a community. And it is also our place and our position in space. So it's like having the location that each one of us is on the planet. That is our own particular locality, whatever it is, and not just the geographical position, like we're all in Northern California. However, the spiritual position of where we are on the planet, that the planet could not be what it is without each one of us, that the healing and the grace and the love and the joy and the peace and the harmony of the divine could not happen without each one of us, because each one of us is an expression of life fulfilling itself. In fact, I would actually really say that each one of us is a mental equivalent of the divine expressing. That each one of us, and what is a mental equivalent? It's a subjective idea of a desired experience and its greater concepts and greater endeavors. And so we are, just when I think about that, it's so invigorating, and it enthuses me in such a way to know that each one of us is the mental equivalent of the divine expressing itself. And as I said before, each one of us is life fulfilling itself. Without us, it could not happen. So the other part about this that showed up as we were igniting the locality within, each one of us, believe it or not, I'm sure you know this, is a spiritual promise. We are a spiritual promise. We are a spiritual potential of the one itself. We are spiritual potential of life living itself. We are an expression, a unique, bespoke expression of the one. Each one of us is exactly, that's what we are. That's why we're here. And each one of us, I love this, is a bespoke expression just waiting to catch fire. There's a Rumi quote that goes, set your life on fire and associate with those who fan the flame. That's a little paraphrasing because I don't think he used the word associate. However, our lives, there's an opportunity for us to use the spiritual promise that each of us is to set our lives on fire, to really, really ignite the interiority of the divine within and as each one of us. And once we ignite that interiority, then that's when we come up with our community connections. That is the way that community is lit by spirit. That is how we all come together in the oneness of the divine. There is a Bible verse, Matthew, the 18th chapter, and it's verses 19 and 20. And we probably all know this. I knew it in my head. However, it does say, if they agree about anything they ask for, it will be done for them. When two or more are gathered in my name, there I am with them. So here we are, community, two or more gathered in the name of the divine. And I heard that two or more gathered in my name since I was probably 4 or 5 years old. I didn't put it together for a long time that this is about community, that community is lit by spirit, and that we get to be the ignition of the locality in community. That is to say, the state of community where each one of us fits. And it's I think of Indra's net. An Indra's net, the tell of Indra's net is that there's a net, huge net that's like, that's what the whole universe is about. And each one of us is a diamond in the net. Each connection in the net is the diamond or the sparkler that each one of us is. So this is exactly what I'm speaking of here, or being with here, about igniting. So when this showed up for me, I thought, okay, how do I make a fire? How do I ignite something? And what is the way that one might ignite something? And I would like to share with you in all transparency, I am not a camper. I I have been camping once in my entire adult life. I went to camp as a kid. I went to Bible camp, but I mean church camp as a kid. But in my adult life, one time camping, and I must admit, in all transparency, to let you know, everyone who was there camping with me, they didn't have a good time. It was not a good time for all, because I'm not a camper. That is not to say I purposely made it unbearable, but I'm just not a camper. So I really needed to research, how does one get a fire going? I have lived in several homes that have a fireplace, but they were gas. Or when I was a kid, I lived in a house that had a fireplace. However, my dad and mom got it going. So to be clear about igniting the locality within today, I looked up the way we get a fire going. How do we ignite a flame? In what way do we ignite a flame? So the first thing for a flame, and some of you probably know this really well, the first thing for a flame is you need tinder or kindling. So I was thinking, in life, what is the tinder or kindling for igniting this, this flame within us, this mental equivalent within us? And I realized it's our life challenges. Right there is the tinder or the kindling. And sometimes our life challenges, I love it. Lisa Nichols often says our life challenges are blessings sometimes that seem to come wrapped in sandpaper. So sometimes we have blessings that show up that don't, in the beginning, give the appearance of being a blessing. However, that is what we can use as the tinder or the kindling for igniting the locality within, is our life challenges and blessings. And then the next thing you need is a flame activator, a spark, or embers, something like that, something to activate the flame. And what showed up for me that is our flame activator is the shifts in our lives and the metamorphosis that happens in our lives. Today, this Sunday, is nothing like last Sunday or nothing like yesterday. I mean, we shift all the time. In a 7-year time, we get all new skin. I love that, especially on the face where there might be wrinkles. However, we get all new skin. And so I realized that the flame activator is the metamorphosis that's happening within and as us at all times, because we are all a living, breathing expression of the divine. And so there's no stagnancy within us. There's always something happening, always something changing, and always lessons showing up for us to expand into the spaciousness of the divine that we are all the time. And it's wonderful. Sometimes it may not show up as wonderful. However, it is wonderful. It's part of our choosing to incarnate here when we each did at this particular specific time for the planet. So the next thing is blowing on the tinder. Once you get it going, I understand, then you blow on the tinder. You blow on this flame that we've got going. You blow on these embers. And what showed up for me is, in our lives, what we blow our igniting with is our faith literacy. Now, what you're thinking, what does that mean, Reverend Verona? Faith literacy is to know all the past demonstrations, all the past manifestations that have shown up in and as our lives. I mean, with just today, it's here in the West Coast, it's 4:30 in the afternoon, or 4:25 or something like that. Think of all the blessings that have shown up until this point today. So that is what I mean by building our faith literacy, because we get to have faith and trust that Spirit is always, continuously, without fail, limitlessly, and ceaselessly deluging us with blessings, just giving of itself in, through, and as us, for our growth, for our expansion, for our enlightenment, just for our being who we are. You don't know, but I was looking at something today, and it was saying, you are loved simply because you exist. And that is, Spirit adores us. Spirit cherishes us. We are the delight of the divine. So faith literacy to me is knowing all the things that brought me to this point, right up until this very moment, this very second, knowing that I get to have faith in whatever is happening in my life, because look at all the other blessings. Look at all the other opportunities. Look at all the other challenges. Look at all the other adventures and experiences. So that's the third thing when we're igniting a fire. And then the fourth thing is you block the wind. When you're igniting something, you block the wind. And what do we block the wind with? Community. Community blocks the wind in our lives. Community shines the light within our individual sparks, but community also gives us immunity. Community brings immunity from those things in life that may not be our truth, or might be things that we are ours to walk down that road and have our own particular journey. And to know that when we're having the journey, what I said before, this faith literacy, that God's got this, Spirit's got this. The thing itself, as Ernest Holmes says, has got this. So these are the ways that we ignite. These are the ways that we ignite the locality within. A tinder or kindling, which is life challenges and blessings. A flame activator, and the flame activator is motivation, shifts, or the metamorphosis that's always happening within us. Blowing on the tinder, the blowing on the tinder to me is faith literacy, maybe trust literacy. Those two words are interchangeable for me. It goes along with what Neville Goddard often has said in the past, that faith is loyalty to unseen reality. So if we have that faith literacy, I love that. So scrummy. Faith is loyalty to unseen reality. And then we get to block the wind. Once we get this ignited, we get to block the wind, and that is through community, through our immersion in, through our connection in, through our embrace and embodying of community. So I'd like to share with you a story about someone that epitomizes this to me, and it's a young woman I read about and knew about. Her name is Janvier Kamana. And Janvier Kamana is from Burundi, which is a country on the east coast of Africa. Okay, and she started back in 2009, a cassava flour business. So she got cassava and grind it up and turned it into flour. And that was her business. That was her livelihood. That was her way of being in the circulation of the divine. Well, in that year, 2009, 2010, she suffered or came upon what we might call hardships. Her husband died. She had 6 kids. And one of her kids had 3 kids, and one of the kids made their transition. And so now she has 6 kids and 3 grandchildren to take care of. Okay, so here she is in what I might call a blessing wrapped in sandpaper. Here she is in this sort of situation, this challenge. So she, in her church community, she joined a savings group in her church community. And the name of this, I love it. The name of this group was called Let's Develop Each Other. Yeah, let's develop each other. And so part of this was you could put in as much savings as you'd like, and then you could get a loan out for the amount of money that you'd like. So back in 2009, she only had 220 pounds of cassava. And I don't know about the cassava business, but I take it that that's a small amount for her to turn into flour. She joined the group in her church community. She became a part of their church community and joined the Let's Develop Each Other. And after about 7 or 8 years, she was able to take out $100 loan. And then she moved her business up to 770 pounds of cassava that she could turn into flour. However, what's really important here too about my sharing this story is what they believed or what was their motto, you might call it. We'd call it an affirmation. Let's pray together, learn from each other, and support one another. And so I see that as absolutely an example of getting just what I just talked about, igniting a flame. Because she had the tinder, the life challenges. She had the activator, the motivator, which was the shifts in her life. I mean, her life changed in mammoth ways. Then she had the faith literacy or the trust literacy, knowing that as she joined her community group, that all was well, even if she couldn't see it right up front. You know how sometimes all is well, and I may not be able to see it. However, it is already happening in the divinity of spirit. It's already happening on the spiritual plane. It's already going on. It's already happening. So I feel that she used these steps, just like we would ignite a flame or start a fire. She used these steps, and I know that as her success grows and grows and grows and grows and grows, and it's growing right up until today, she's a very successful woman today, that part of it is being in community, knowing community is lit by spirit, and also igniting the locality of community within and as her. So this is a story that really enthused me and inspires me. However, you're probably thinking, okay, Reverend Verona, how's this working in your own life? We love this story. We love hearing about this young woman. We love knowing that spirit is everywhere present and that all of our wants and needs are always taken care of, that source and supply loves magnetizing itself as us. How's it working in your own life? I'll share it with you. Recently, I had a new friend coming to visit my home, and I wanted to spiff up my living room. Okay, and it was kind of an important person, and so I thought, okay, I want to spiff up my living room. Now, in my living room, up until that point, I had this chair, had an African motif, and it was a crooked chair, but I really liked it. I know it sounds silly, but I really liked it. But like two of the legs kind of bent over, so I thought, okay, maybe it's time to let this chair go, to release this chair. So I went to my favorite furniture store, Uhuru Furniture Store in the East Bay here in Oakland. Now it's no longer, it closed in the end of October, but this was in like a week before they closed. I went there and was looking for a chair, and I found a gorgeous red velvet chair, perfect for my living room. And so I thought, oh, great. However, it was part of a set. It was 2 chairs. I asked them, would you be willing to split that up? And they said, not really. No, this is the way we're selling it. In the meantime, I'm walking around the rest of the store, just being with it and just knowing in faith that, you know what? I don't have, it's not for me to know the how. This chair is coming home with me. It's not for me to know the how. Just stay in faith, stay in trust. So I started talking to a young woman who was there, and she was saying she needed a chair for her office for clients. And she said, those red velvet chairs out front, the pair would be perfect for me. I only need 1 chair. And they won't, I've asked them, they won't sell it as, they won't break up the set. And I said, oh, I only need 1 chair too. Yay. So we went to the cashier and they said, yes, you can buy the chair together. Each one of you pay your certain amount. And then you can take it with you. Now, first I'm thinking, look at community. Look at what being community is. You know, this is like strictly a demonstration of community and igniting that locality within. However, the best part, or not, the ending part of it is, so we paid. And then I have a little Toyota Corolla sedan. And I asked them, do you think this will fit in my car? And they said, forget it. And I said, okay, all right, well, I'll have someone come pick it up, da, da, da. And then she said, well, I have a different kind of car, Honda something. And she said, the chairs will fit in my car. We put both chairs in her car and we left, and she brought my chair to my house, and she left and took her chair to her house. And it was just so, so wonderful. And really clearly to me, this was community at work. This was community lit by spirit. This was, and what the things that I did, the steps I went through was igniting the locality within, because I went there. I knew that this store would have my chair. And then when I got there and realized that, oh, it's part of a pair, I allowed myself to know that, you know what, this is the metamorphosis that's happening. Something's happening. There's some sort of shift going on here within me. Be still. Just like when we meditated at the top of this service, just be in the stillness. Just be in the stillness. Then to know in faith, my faith literacy, I just said, or my trust literacy. Okay, all right, this is wonderful. This chair is now for my home. And then where community came in. And this young woman who was looking for we were both the same thing. And then to me, it was so like Spirit said, and here's a little dollop of extra rich whipped cream on top of this demonstration, because she brought it to my home. We fit them in her car. She brought it to my home. We hugged, we left, and we both, had exactly what we wanted. So all of this is to say that community is lit by spirit. And also, if we allow ourselves to go through the steps of igniting the flame, if we ignite the locality within, there's no telling what can happen. There's no telling what shows up for us, and there's no telling how it all fits together. Because as it says in Ephesians, he makes the whole body fit together perfectly, so that we are community, that we fit together perfectly, that we are one with the other, and that it is all good, it is all God, and it is always unfolding in infinite, unbounded love. And so it is.
I love this life. I love this feeling. I stepped into a knowing that's always been. There's nothing greater or more beautiful to be this whole with gratitude and heartbreak makes room for love inside me. My faith all the way from now until filled as high as it goes, fused inside my soul. This lovely heart, a while ago in my eyes there wasn't a bright side. I was into life had a longing, and so it was. The fire melted my heart into one, and heartbreak makes room for love inside me, and my faith all the way from now until filled as high as it goes, fused inside my soul. Marry me to your love, oh yeah. Marry me, God, to your love. Kisses made of light, kisses made of light. Oh, marry me to your lovely heart, to your lovely heart, yeah. So here we are. I'm glad to be in love with you for all time, for all time. Well, there's nothing greater or more beautiful. All me and you with gratitude and a heartbreak makes room for love inside me, and my faith all the way from now until filled as high as it goes, fused inside my soul. Marry me to your love, marry me, God, to your love. Marry me to your love. Oh, I am yours, I am. Kisses made of light. Oh, your kisses are made of light. Marry me to your love. Oh, your love. I am yours now. With this faith, I am yours. My heart is always one. Oh, marry me to your lovely heart, yeah.
Laura, that was so awesome. I just don't have the words. I wonder if you could do me a favor and just sing a few the song you sang about the angels to open up service, just sing a few choruses of that prayer.
Calling the angels, calling the angels, at my right hand Michael, at my left hand Gabriel, before me Uriel, behind me Raphael, calling the angels. Ooh, calling the angels. Oh, I know within me is almighty love, and within the almighty love, and our angels calling the